Hello! This is my visual metaphor and universal design project for the two classes that I took in Ireland this year. Let's start with the metaphor part. Wealth is access. The colored doors here represent wealth. Now, this might be an Irish story, but it is said that the Irish had to paint their doors different colors so that when they came home intoxicated, they could find their home based on the color of their front door. On the other hand, poverty is a washing machine. Poverty can be seen as a washing machine because it is a continuous cycle. Once the door is closed, the laundry just keeps spinning around and around. This is related to poverty because once you are in it, your days all seem the same, just like in a cycle. Gender is a flock of birds and swans. The birds on the right can be associated with boys because they are all gathering together into a big group, while the swans just keep to themselves in a smaller group. It has been observed that boys tend to have a larger group of friends than girls do. My next metaphor is white privilege is a mountain. This mountain is, for some, sometimes obscured by clouds. It is a mountain that white people live happily in the shadow of. It is a mountain we can choose to see or not see, choose to engage with or not. Some people choose to climb the mountain to find out what is on the other side, while others stay around the base or look away. The goal of climbing the mountain is to expand our world beyond the shadow of the present mountain. White privilege bestows innumerable benefits on white people, but it is costing them much needed political power to fight the breaks in our political system. It costs environmental health on a large scale, and it costs our human ability for compassion. Cultural diversity is represented in flowers. Just how there are many different kinds of flowers, there are many different kinds of people. Flowers are put together in gardens to make the world beautiful. Likewise, the different kinds of people all around the world make the world a better place. If everyone was the same, the world would just be boring. My last metaphor is linguistic diversity is seen in rocks. Since there are many different kinds of people around the world, we all have different languages that go along with that. Different languages are a beautiful thing, and they are needed around the world to be able to communicate. Just like there are different kinds and sizes of rocks that come together to make the Irish Sea beach so beautiful, there are many different languages that bring people together. Now, we will move on to the universal design part of this project. Universal design refers to a broad spectrum of ideas that are meant to produce buildings and products that are accessible to people without disabilities and to people with disabilities. My first picture is a picture of the bathrooms that were at the bus station in Galway. As you can see, we had to pay to use the bathroom, but you will also notice that there is a special bathroom door for those with a disability that could not get through to the other bathrooms. Next is a picture of a button that when pushed, it would open the big heavy door to let people in wheelchairs use the bathroom. Now this is a picture of a walkway that led to a lighthouse. As you can see, the pathway is wide enough that those with wheelchairs could go on to see the lighthouse. This wheelchair-only entrance was an entrance available to those who could not go up the stairs to get into the restaurant that was at the front of the building. Also, the DART, which is the train that took us everywhere we needed to go, was handicap accessible. A ramp could be lowered onto the cement for the wheelchair or stroller to be wheeled up on. Once the wheelchair or stroller was onto the Dart, there was a certain place for them to sit on the inside. The elevator in our hotel that we stayed in was also accessible. It was accessible to people who were blind as well, because once the elevator had stopped moving, it would say what floor you were on. In Ireland, there were several signs that said there was wheelchair access one way. I loved these signs because it meant that the people in wheelchairs were thought of when construction was happening. This specific sign pointed to a path that was made just for them, since it was an easier route for them to take. This next picture is also a sign pointing to a specific access. This picture is by where the Dart would pull up to let us get on. The yellow line is the line that everyone is supposed to stay behind so that they do not get hurt by the incoming Dart or fall down onto the tracks. It was made accessible to the blind as well, because at the yellow line and behind that line there were bumps that indicated that they needed to stop walking. Just like the bumps by the Dart, the sidewalks had bumps to indicate that they were about to step into the road. Next, there was another item that was helpful to the blind. You know of the crosswalk signs that have the little stop sign or the little person walking. Obviously, those who are blind would not be able to see those signs. But this certain item beeped very loudly when it was a good time to cross the street. Not only were there accessible places in Ireland, but there were also non-accessible places. First is a picture of a rough path that led to the top of a cliff. Unfortunately, I did not find a way that it would be possible for anyone in a wheelchair to get to the top of a cliff, which was very sad because at the top of this certain cliff in Bray, there was a cross and you could get your picture taken beside it. Now this picture was taken at Giant's Causeway. Giant's Causeway is naturally made, so it does not have to be accessible by law. But I just wanted to point out how even very smooth stones could keep some people from being able to experience the full beauty of it. And then lastly, this rope bridge was not accessible. Again, I do not believe that it needed to be accessible, but the rope bridge was the only way to get to the other side to see the beautiful island coast. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.